Most people think leadership is about making decisions. It isn't. Leadership is about what happens after the decision is made. And most leaders are never trained for that. We celebrate decisiveness, we reward speed, we promote confidence, but we do not examine the psychological cost of being the one who decides. Because the moment you become the final decision maker, something changes. Not outside, inside. Your thinking becomes clearer, but your reflection becomes narrower. Your authority increases, but your feedback decreases. And slowly, you stop being corrected. And that's where the real cost begins. Let me show you what actually changes and why most leadership systems are not designed to handle it. The common belief is simple: better leaders make better decisions. But that assumption ignores something fundamental. Decisions are not just cognitive, they are state dependent. The same person with the same intelligence, the same experience, the same data can make completely different decisions depending on the internal state they are operating from. And leadership amplifies that state. When you are not the final decision maker, you can share responsibility, distribute thinking, express uncertainty. But when you are the one who decides, uncertainty becomes private, doubt becomes silent, and clarity becomes expected. That expectation creates pressure, and pressure does not improve thinking, it changes it. So the issue is not decision making ability. The issue is what happens to your internal architecture under authority. Let's break this structurally. When authority increases, confidence rises, hesitation reduces, decisions feel clearer. But clarity comes at a cost. Reflection decreases. You stop asking, what am I missing? What is the alternative view? Because the role now requires you to decide. And over time, certainty stabilizes. As your authority increases, people filter what they say. Dissent reduces. Agreement increases. Not because they agree, but because they are adapting. Silence in leadership systems is not neutral, it is information. And when feedback reduces, your decisions are no longer corrected in real time. At the same time, something else happens. Emotion compresses. You cannot express confusion, doubt, internal conflict, but your position demands clarity. So, what happens? Cognition compensates. You think more, you process more, you carry more, but you feel less. And this creates internal load. Then comes the most subtle shift. Your decisions stop being evaluated, they start being associated with you. If the decision is right, you are seen as capable. If it is wrong, you are questioned. So, what do leaders start doing? They don't just decide, they protect decisions. And that's where distortion begins. This is not an individual failure, it is a design gap. We train leaders in strategy, execution, communication, but we do not train them in holding decisions, regulating internal states, managing psychological load. We teach leaders how to choose. We do not teach them how to carry what they choose. And that gap creates three consequences. First, reactive authority. Decisions are made from pressure, not clarity. Second, distorted feedback systems. Leaders hear less truth over time. Third, internal instability. Decisions are made externally but not settled internally. So, the problem is not leadership capability. The problem is leadership education. Let's bring this back to you. Before your next decision, don't ask what is the right choice. Ask something more precise. Where am I coming from? Is this clarity, pressure, fear, certainty, or hesitation? Because the decision itself is not where leadership begins. Leadership begins at the point where you become aware of the state making that decision. And if you can see that, you can change everything that follows.